Hey guys, this is Zem from Straight Gaming, and we're checking out the new Chrysler K today. I know it's a Chrysler product, so watch those doors, because eventually they'll sag and probably fall off. Anyway, we're into a Tier 9 top tier map, and I'm playing with my good friend and clanmate Mill, and our other friend Blues, the notorious Blues Hound from PBCAC. Yeah, I couldn't believe that they're still alive, but apparently he's the only one that still is breathing. But anyway, back to this tank. This is a some sort of Frankenstein monstrosity. Looks like a one of the Russian tanks mated with a German tank, and they put a Chrysler logo on it. I don't know. It's not exactly the prettiest thing in the world, and it doesn't look like your typical American tank, American heavy tank. But what we do have is a very strong frontal armor on this tank. The turret is very, very strong. So is the upper plate. The lower plate is still pennable if you don't angle it. It's probably as strong as the Defender from the front. Um, what really makes the difference on this tank? And now in this game, I'm running just a BIA crew, one skill crew, and I have rammers and vents on it. That's literally the only thing I have going with it right now. Like I said, this is the very first game. I actually didn't even know this tank was um, for sale until I popped into TS tonight, and Mill Hill said, "Hey, you know what? Check out the new tank." So he bought it, I bought it, and we decided that we were going to make a try it out and see what it was like. And after looking at some of the stats on it, we have a roughly 100 millimeters on the side, which makes this an excellent tank with a rear-mounted turret for side scraping. If you're a 4502 player, you're gonna love this tank. This thing plays a lot like a 4502, especially on a side of the corner. Um, Other than the cupola being a little weak, I mean, when I say a little bit weak, I mean it's still, I've obviously been watching this A2. The Mutant 6 been bouncing shit off of it, and that Conqueror actually finally did pen me eventually in the cupola. But other than that, the frontal armor of this tank is very good, as well as the side scraping side armor. So that now, like I said, and if you've noticed on the way over here how mobile it is, I mean, this has some very good horsepower, or power to ton ratio, and it moves very well. This isn't your typical American tank. Your gun depression is decent for a front-mounted tank, a rear-mounted turret, but obviously it's not it's not like your typical American tank with the great gun depression. Um, as for the gun, we've talked about the armor of this thing, the mobility of it. The gun is actually the best part about this tank. Uh, Very good, very quick aim time. Uh, Better than probably. Actually, I think it's probably the best, as far as I know, for aim time for a heavy tier 8. Uh, Accuracy is good. Reload is good. The one thing that really does suck on this tank is definitely the pen 198. So, it's not. If you're going to be running into higher tiers, or even your own tier, you see me switching back and forth a lot of times, and I'm going straight to the APCR because this thing does, uh, you know, have we'll probably have a little hard time penning some tier 8s, definitely 9s, for sure 10s. So if you're going to buy it, make sure you're going to know that you're probably going to spend a little bit of cash on um, uh, premium rounds. Uh, this does not have great pen. I suppose it's an offset for what its armor is like, but like I said, it makes up for it in several other categories, like I said, the mobility, the armor. Other than the pen, the gun is excellent. So if you're looking for this for a an American premium tank, yes, it seems like a very good tank. If you're gonna get if Matchmaker finally gets its fucking head out of its ass and you're gonna get some top tier games, instead of one out of every 20, yeah, you're gonna rip the shit out of sixes and sevens with the 198 pen. But if you're getting into those top tiers, you're definitely gonna have to be firing a PCR because the like I said, the pen's a little low. And like I said, here's a perfect example. You watch the mill over on the other side bounce a shit ton, and here, bouncing entire clip out of a T5041. Granted, T5041 does have some really shitty pen, but there was I don't know if there's even a chance that he could actually pen in the front of me. Even and then once again, the mobility kind of comes in there too, where I was able to keep my front of my hull toward him as he tried to spin around me. So it's one of those tanks. I mean, I enjoy the tank. Like I said, this was my very very first game in this tank, and it was an ace tanker. I don't know if everybody played this tank like shit or what, because this wasn't definitely not even close to a fabulous game. I think I ended up with 2,800 damage is all I think I did in it, but maybe just so new, I don't know. But like I said, I ended up with this is literally the very first game, and it was a 2,800 or 2,800 damage ace tanker game. So, like I said, this tank as a crew trainer is shit. I'm not gonna kid you. I think it's a 4-man crew. Um, you're not gonna. This is not gonna be something that you're going to train. Maybe. Yeah, it's just not a good crew trainer. But even in credit wise, I was not terribly impressed with either. I think this was about a 90,000 K. I mean, yeah, which was good. But I think if I would have been on the low or something like this at this tier, probably been over 100K. So I don't know if I'm not sure exactly what was a better. If this is supposed to have a worse money making than the regular other tier 8s premiums, but I don't know. All in all, I think this is actually a pretty decent tank. It seems to be the general push now for wargaming to make these premium tanks as good, if not better, than the regular tier 8 tanks. We've had the AMX, the Defender, and now we have this tank, and they've just been they're strong, right? I'm not going to say OP because it's like any other tank. It's going to take a while for people to figure out how to beat it. Once they do, then they're not so scary anymore. But I still hear the fucking dividing the bitch and ones about the defenders. And, oh my god, they're so OP. Well, you know what? They're not. Um, you know, well played. If you're playing your regular tier 8s well, you can beat them just as easy as you can beat any other tank. And this tank will be, in a similar vein as soon as people figure out its weak spots and capitalize on them and whatnot. So as a premium tank at tier 8, I liked it, and I would suggest if you wanted to drop some money on it, um, T34 is still going to be in my opinion, the go-to tier 8 premium tank for the Americans. From the size of the crew, the fact that it's got ridiculously good pen, you got that huge armor. But if you're looking for something with a little different play style, something that plays a little more like a medium, this would be the way to go. This is a little bit more mobile, kind of like if you play the T10 for the Russian, the tier 9 to T10, it's a much quicker tank. You're going to be able to get into positions much faster with this tank than you are if you were going to drive a T34 or T32 or whatever. But like I said, it's a good tank. If you're interested in looking for something other than the T34 and you want to play something a little different play style, especially with 4502 drivers, I know this isn't a German tank, but this plays so much like the 4502, it's not even funny. But yeah, so check it out, and if you feel like dropping some cash on it, I would say definitely give it a thumbs up. All right, thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you guys later.